dental board. There are two different issues that can come into play. When we identify or receive an allegation or identify any practices that may not meet professional standards or may endanger the health or well-being of patients, that immediately gets referred to the licensing board, as well as Medicaid Fraud Control Unit, which also handles cases of patient and elder abuse. As well as if we're receiving an allegation that may include imminent risk to a patient, we encourage them to immediately speak to law enforcement. The other issue is if we are terminating the provider for cause, for fraudulent behavior, for any violation of our policy that warrants termination, a copy of that letter is sent to the licensing board.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. Any other comments from any of the witnesses?
Lori Swartzoff for the record. Just in closing, we will have the follow-up report that's due to the commission before December 15th, and that should have closure to all the questions and the IT concerns and the follow-up for the pending case that we have.
Thank you. And just for the record, you'll also be back for the next Legislative Commission hearing, which may be as early as September.
We'll be here.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, committee, we're now going to go to Section 5, Legislative Commission Policy, approval of correction of an error in Senate Bill 176. Ms. Erdos, would you like to explain what's happening here?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a case where we have discovered an error in a bill, and pursuant to statute are asking the Legislative Commission to actually fix the enrolled bill. This error occurred in an amendment, and it is very clear from looking at the bill that the bill did not intend, and the legislature did not intend, to take away the penalty, the criminal penalty for carrying a concealed firearm. And we don't believe that the bill would stand up to do that, because there's nothing in the bill, in the summary title or the digest about that. It's a matter of, in the amendment, in getting it all typed up and prepared for the legislature to look at, what happened is the specific type of gun was supposed to be added to paragraph 3, and instead it was made a paragraph 3, and the rest of the guns were moved down to paragraph 4, leaving no penalty for this provision. We believe that it's kind of a no-win unless this is fixed, because under the bill there is not a criminal penalty specified. Therefore, we believe that any prosecutions would be in question and cause litigation. Equally so if the actual bill itself were challenged based on this issue, we don't believe it would stand up either. So that's why we're coming forward to the Legislative Commission, again, pursuant to statute, to ask that this change be made in the enrolled bill. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you, Ms. Erdos. Are there any questions or comments by members of the committee at this time? Senator Settlemeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being the sponsor of the bill, no, that was not my intent to get rid of all criminal penalties, so I appreciate everybody voting in favor of this correction. Thank you.
And I am correct, Ms. Erdos, this requires unanimous approval of the Legislative Commission.
It does. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments at this time from the committee? I'd entertain a motion from Senator Settlemeyer.
I move to accept the correction.
Okay. Second by Assemblyman Hanson. Motion by Senator Settlemeyer, second by Assemblyman Hansen to correct the error in Senate Bill number 176 from the 2015 session. All those in favor say yea. Any opposed say nay. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Erdos. Okay, now we'll go to section 5B, review of administrative regulations. There are only a few today, but if there are any that any member would like to specifically hear testimony on and have discussion on, please let the chair know at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like the last one that we got for some clarifications.
R2915?
Yes, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like R083-14.
Okay. R083-14.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nelson?
Mr. Chairman, I have one question on R050-13.
Okay. R050-13.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Stewart?
I have a question on R131-14.
Okay, R131-14. Okay, at this time, I would entertain a motion to pass the remaining two regulations that have not been pulled for further discussion. Those two regulations are R052-13 and R004-15.
So moved.
I got a motion by Senator Settlemeyer and a second by Senator Kekeffer. All those in favor say yea. Any opposed say nay. Okay, motion passes unanimously. So now we will go to the regulations that have been pulled. We will start off with R050-13. Commission for Common Interest Communities and Condominium Hotels. Is there someone here who can speak to that regulation? I see a couple of individuals in Las Vegas. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commission members. I am J.D. Decker, Administrator of the Nevada Real Estate Division.
Good morning, Mr. Decker.
Good morning, I'm Tara Lynn Thompson, Administration Section Manager for the Real Estate Division.
Good morning, Ms. Thompson. Okay, and I believe, was it, who had a question on this one, Mr. Nelson? Please proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the regulation on page 4 of our packet, it would be NAC 116.046. Looks like it's section 2, subsection 8D, says obtain when practicable at least 3 bids from reputable service providers. Now, I understand that this is not being changed today, but if we go over to section 3 of NAC 116.415, in subsection 1 it says an estimate of the amount of reserve funds necessary in the projected fiscal year based on, and the comparative bids was taken out. And I guess my question is, I was reviewing the statute. We passed a law this last session that said that if the board takes bids, then it needs to get at least three bids if, for example, if the units are, if it's more than 1,000.